Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development Ministry promises to consolidate on its collaboration to improve the living standards of Nigerians. And federal government engages youth on export trade to enhance their productivity in the field. Many thanks for joining us, and now the details of the news. Nigeria and Slovakia are to deepen and expand the highly beneficial relations between the two countries in various economic sectors. This was when President Muhammadu Buhari granted audience to the outgoing ambassador of Slovak Republic to Nigeria, Peter Halesek. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has the details of the reports.
Ambassador Peter Halesek of the Slovak Republic was engaged virtually by President Muhammadu Buhari during the farewell audience. He is leaving Nigeria after a successful tour of duty that lasted 5 years. President Buhari congratulated the envoy on his remarkable and eventful tenure, which brought Nigeria working more closely with his country in areas of common interest. The president thanked the outgoing envoy for the long service and expressed the hope that his next assignment will be more successful. Recounting the high points of his 5-year stay in Nigeria, Ambassador Halesek noted with pride that the relations between Nigeria and his country had improved tremendously during the period. Nigeria, he said, is Slovakia's largest trading partner south of the Sahara, and there are even prospects of better relations going forward. This, he said, informed his facilitation of visits by Slovak and Nigerian officials to the two countries. Ambassador Halesek wished Nigeria peace and greater prosperity. From the State House, Adam Musambo, NTA News.
And the National Gas Expansion Program is underway. The program, which President Muhammadu Buhari will roll out on Tuesday, will herald the formal dispensing of auto gas products. The rollout is the culmination of the resolve of the federal government to deepen domestic usage of natural gas in its various forms. The federal government auto gas program will deliver at least 1 million vehicle conversions by the end of 2021 and herald the clean energy transition for Nigeria and delivery of cheap transportation fuel. And away from auto gas program, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, says the ministry will consolidate on its collaboration with the relevant ministries and agencies as well as international donors agencies in order to continually achieve the desired goals of improving the lives of vulnerable and poor Nigerians. The minister stated this at the ministerial press briefing on the 2020 activities of the ministry. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
The social investment program of the federal government, which included the conditional cash transfer of 5,000 naira to the poorest of the poor Nigerians, trader money, homeschool feeding program, and power job creation, among other social schemes, have touched the lives of millions of Nigerians since its creation in 2016. So the ministry's determination to consolidate on this feat for improved development of human existence, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs said, is sacrosanct. She said the agencies under the ministry has executed programs that have direct bearing on the lives and well-being of the citizenry with collaboration with donor agencies and other relevant stakeholders. The minister said the ministry is formulating policy documents that will enhance its operations to better the lot of Nigerians in all spheres of human endeavors. On COVID-19 palliatives and other food distribution to IDPs, the minister said all the states of the Federation have been reached to cushion the effects of the COVID-19 lockdown.
We have also developed a plan for the post-COVID-19 recovery period, which are job creation, farmers' grants, and livelihood projects. Our strategy is to build resilient structures that include the Nigerian vulnerable youth, and other vulnerable groups going forward. Palliatives. The ministry identifies its strategic role and impact in the everyday lives of the Nigerian. We want to assure the public that we are on ground working every day for Nigerians in the service for humanity.
In our ongoing effort to ensure that she reach out particularly to the vulnerable. It's a very challenging job. It's physically exhausting and mentally tasking. But with all due respect and with all sense of modesty and decency, I think the Honourable Minister has discharged her job honourably and efficiently and effectively.
While commending the ministry's management staff and heads of agencies for the unflinching support and determination which resulted in the achievement thus far, the minister enjoined them to be more critical in the journey ahead. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
Let's talk health now. Nigerians have been urged to continue to adhere to COVID-19 protocol to avert any spike. The chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, expressed worry that Nigeria ranks 5th for both the highest cumulative cases and deaths. He pointed out that humanity has been under the siege of COVID-19 and hence the nation cannot afford to relax its security on a national response.
The Presidential Task Force is escalating its surveillance and testing drive to ensure that the spread of the virus is effectively contained even as we approach the festive season. We shall continue to remind Nigerians that all non-essential trips should be put off this December season.
This is a sacrifice we must make to preserve lives. The elderly and persons with delicate health should best remain where they are and not travel or mix in crowds, except they absolutely have protection and must travel.
The PTF commiserated with the President, the people and the government of Borno State over the killing of some rice farmers. And on global COVID-19 update, UK poised to be first to approve Pfizer vaccine, with US following days later after President-elect Joe Biden names all-female White House communications team. Justin Bemunyi brings up the global news.
The UK is ready to approve a vaccine against coronavirus in 7 days as it gears up to launch its largest inoculation program. Britain could become the first country to approve the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech. Approval could be granted as soon as December 7, with the program introduced within hours of authorization. The US could follow days later with emergency approval granted between December 8 and December 10. Relatively, Moderna announced it will ask the Food and Drug Administration for emergency use authorization, EUA, for its COVID-19 vaccine, making it the second company after Pfizer to seek EUA for a COVID-19 vaccine in the United States. In the meantime, the U.S. has recorded more than 4 million cases of coronavirus for the month of November, more than doubling the record 1.9 million cases set in October. Meanwhile, record of confirmed coronavirus cases now surpass 63 million as indicated on the Worldometer dashboard. Just as Nigeria Center for Disease Control says, Nigeria now has a record of 67,412 confirmed cases. In other news, President-elect Joe Biden has named 7 women to key communications roles in his incoming White House. His transition team says it is the first time in history that the positions will be filled entirely by women, as he presses on with preparations for his administration. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump made his first media appearance since losing the election on Sunday, phoning Fox News to blame judges for his failure to overturn the election result. And from Africa comes reports that Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has called an extraordinary session of the parliament on Monday while the conflict in the country's northern region continues. This is just as the fugitive leader of Ethiopia's Tigray region has called on Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to stop the madness and withdraw troops from the territory. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Bemunyi.
Many thanks, Justin. Still talking health. The federal government says it is committed to improving the health and well-being of Nigerians by highlighting options to make healthier lifestyle choices. This follows the formal launch of the revised National Health Promotion Policy 2019 and its ancillary strategic policy documents in Abuja. Basi Itaikman reports.
These policy documents provide guidance for the empowerment of individuals and communities with appropriate information on healthful habits and behavior in order to remain in good health and reduce the burden of non-communicable diseases.
The benefit of health promotion again is that it's cheaper for government because you have to treat less people, you have to buy fewer medicines because people are generally healthy.
But without health promotion, without proper policies in place, there will be an implementation gap.
Emphasize more on this to ensure that men treat women with respect and dignity as far as health issues are concerned.
Speakers and partners expressed optimism that the document would not only foster sectoral and intersectoral collaboration to deliver key interventions, but would empower the people to make healthy choices of their own violation. Basi Taikman, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja. We'll take a short break now. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
The Council of Our Fathers.
Backing of the protests by criminals have resulted into violence, destruction of government and private properties, criminal release of prisoners, and the lynching and burning of policemen and some innocent persons. These developments is causing serious concern to all of us, and if care is not taken, it might lead the country to a point of no return.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Thanks for staying with us. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says the ministry is determined to develop the hospitality and tourism sector as an alternative source of income earner for the nation. The minister indicated this during the official handover of structural facilities and equipment by the Benue State government to the federal government for the formal takeoff of the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, North Central Zone headquarters in Makurdi. Charles Abba reports that the Deputy Governor of the state, Benson Abonu, performed the ceremony on behalf of Governor Samuel Alton.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, explained that one of the prerequisites for tourism to develop and fulfill its mandate in the socio-economic life of a nation is availability of well-trained personnel. He maintained that the travel, hospitality, tourism, and other related services have over 1 million private establishments employing over 9.8 million persons in the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT.
Federal government has been doing a lot to alleviate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially as it affects the creative and tourism sector. For example, under a 75 billion survival fund for micro, small, and medium enterprises, the federal government has paid 2,186 companies, employing 12,117 individuals under the payroll support as part of the efforts to cushion the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Deputy Governor Benson Abonu, who assured that the edifice has been put in place in conformity with global best practices, said Benue State has deepened the hospitality and tourism sector owing to its enormous benefits.
We believe that hospitality and tourism businesses hold a lot of promises to the well-being of the state, and that is why, since the inception of this administration, we have been working relentlessly to promote and deepen the prospects of these potentially viable sectors.
Director General of the Institute, Nura Kangewa, stated that the subsectors of tourism has a lot of entrepreneurial skills such as tour guiding, tour operation, hospitality management, pastry and cookery practices, and others. Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Benue State, Nguna Dingi, said Benue is poised to tap and harness its tourism potentials to generate revenue for the state. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA.
And on a sad note, a federal government delegation led by Senate President Ahmed Lawan has visited Maiduguri, Borno State on a condolence visit over the killing of farmers by terrorists. Members of the delegation include Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Ministers of Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, Communications and Digital Economy, Ali Pantami, and the Minister of State for Agriculture, Mustafa Baba Shahuri. Other members are the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, retired, and Senior Special Assistant, Media and Publicity to the President Garba Shehu. The delegation was in Borno on behalf of President Muhammad Buhari and the federal government to commiserate and identify with the family of the victims, the government and the people of Borno State over the incident. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, said President Buhari has assured that the federal government will do everything possible to end insurgency, as it is paramount for government to protect the lives and property of citizens against any form of attack. He said the president has given a marching orders to the country's armed forces to take the fight to the enclave of the insurgents, noting that it will continue to provide all resources needed by the military as well as bilateral relations in collaboration with neighboring countries to stop and eliminate the insurgents. And to speak more on the security situation in the country is former Deputy Inspector General of Police, Habila Joshak. Welcome to NTA International Studio.
Thank you for having me.
As a security expert, what is your take on the security situation in Nigeria?
Well, there has been some attention, a very good attention, and directive of the President of Nigeria that all the military should also get back to the drawing board to ensure that security activities are stepped up to be able to mop up those criminals that will want to create confusion and also take life, like the one that we woke up on Saturday the 20th, where 43 local farmers working on the rice farm, coming far away 1,000 kilometers from Sokoto to Maiduguri. 43 of them were captured and their truck fleets, were 6 seriously injured and 8 are said to have been missing. In other words, they may have been taken away by these criminals. This has demonstrated the fact that those responsible for planning and execution of this operation should do more, and which I think Mr. President have given that order so that a lot of this could be avoided according to some experts, it is clear that these people, these insurgents, are looking at those communities that are responsible for divulging of information, spying, and giving information to the military. And that is the suspicion. And I think that with more effort, I think they should be decimated and they should be weakened so that the country can go ahead and go forward with also providing food for the total population of Nigerians.
It's most unfortunate coming at a time the federal government is focusing on diversification of the economy through agriculture, in spite of the increase in budgetary allocation to defense and security architecture. There seems to be increase in criminal activities. How would you describe these developments?
Well, you are aware also that there has been some attacks on some of our position of these insurgents. And therefore, those of them that have scattered, at the moment, they have an inkling of some other weak area where people are. They would want to attack that to show that they are still very strong. But I can assure you that I think that the military, in collaboration with other peoples in terms of intelligence, particularly other security agencies, get a lot of intelligence, and now the government have said they are ready to give anything to the military and other agencies that are committed to this fight. I think this is the time to catch on this opportunity to make sure that they are completely decimated. I think everybody is concerned, and people are going back to the drawing board. It shouldn't be left for the military alone, the intelligence aspect of it, the cooperation of the communities, and all other people around should be very, very important in fighting this war.
Of course. But what is the best way the nation can address the security situation facing it right now?
Yes, it is. There isn't anything that one can do that is quite different from the government providing the necessary for the military and other security agencies to get in there. And intelligence is very, very important. And I think that we must be very serious. They should be more serious than before. And making sure that they create a buffer zone and making it impossible for them to come in by also utilizing the local militia. And with the support of the governor and his effort, he too does some go into the inkling of some of these places, and this is an encouragement. And I think that all other security agencies should come together and make sure that each and every one of them contribute their quotas to ensure that this is put to an end.
Thank you very much for coming on our studio. We really appreciate your presence. That was Habila Joshak, the former Deputy Inspector General of Police. Now, moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari felicitated with the immediate past president of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Ahmed Yakasai, as he turned 60. The president lauds Mr. Yakasai, who is Honorary Consul General of Pakistan in Nigeria, for his services to pharmaceutical industry, his country, and to humanity in general. In a statement, President Buhari urged him to use the milestone birthday to rededicate himself to all that is noble. He rejoices with friends, family, and professional colleagues of the former commissioner in Kano State and prayed God to grant him long life and all-round prosperity. And on sports, the Tigers conclude their first FIBA AfroBasket on a winning note as they maintained their unbeaten run with another emphatic 91-68 points win against Mali. Olumide Guntola has these and more on Sports Updates.